I love how I sit down to record and there is a baby outside of my window screaming right now. Because of course there is. That would of course happen right at this very moment. Hey guys, it's Shannon, and before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I do want to say a couple of things. I'm going to speedrun this intro as fast as I can so no one in the comments will get mad at me for how long it takes me to get into the actual video. But if I don't do it fast enough, I will try to remember to put a timestamp in the description box down below so you guys can fast forward through this if you don't care. Okay, with that said, let me do this. First off, thank you all so much to the new subscribers on this channel. I literally just hit 430,000 subscribers right now when I'm recording this, and that is an insane number to me. Again, I cannot fully rationalize that many people knowing who I am, and my only real sense of comfort here is the fact that, for one, I never go outside, so I never have to deal with strangers knowing who I am in real life, because oh boy, after that one time in Barnes & Noble's, am I weirdly petrified of that. There are some people who love the idea of other people knowing who they are and fame and all that. That generally puts me off to the point where I have actual panic attacks now, so that's fun. So I guess what I'm saying is thank you guys for being here, thank you so much for supporting me, and thank you for the Venom, My Chemical Romance reference. Moving on. Actually, wait, no, not moving on, because I already announced this on my community tab, but I want to celebrate hitting 430,000 subscribers, which is ridiculous. I'm not laughing at the number, I'm laughing because, oh my god, I am going to be giving out $1,000 to one of my subscribers and possibly other amounts to other people. All you guys have to do to enter below is comment your Instagram handle, that way I can find you and send you a direct message letting you know. That way you can send me your PayPal information privately, and that way I can send the money. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You don't even need to have to subscribe to me to win this, by the way. This is literally open to anyone and everyone, unless you are that one person who spread the theory that I lied about being homeless for clout online, because you're a weird person who did that. I don't think you actually know what clout means, but I don't know. I also don't know who spread that rumor, so this is basically open for everyone. Second, I wanted to give a huge shout out to my editor who has honestly been making my life so much easier and better for the past 2 months. I kid you not, for as bad as my editing was, it would take me so long to make my videos. I would get off of work and just grind for the rest of the day trying to make my Final Cut Pro on my 2015 MacBook Air with literally zero storage capacity work. I am friendly with people in the commentary community, and they would give me crap about how terrible my editing is above all things, and the moment I showed them what I was working with on my end, they stopped immediately, because that is how bad my editing in my computer was. My specs could hardly handle going online, and they were like, oh, so what you were doing is a triumph. Okay, great, good to know. Getting a 10-minute video done and finished would take about 24 hours for me, simply because I would have to take breaks every 30 or so minutes so my laptop itself didn't spontaneously combust. I once talked about how overheated my laptop would get, and I admitted that when that would happen, I would have to put it in the refrigerator, and I'm pretty sure that's the only reason I didn't start an actual fire. I just wanted to take a moment to really send some appreciation and love towards Nathan, aka N-Bird, here on YouTube for what he has been able to do for me, and just send him some support with how much easier things have been because of him. He is the best person in the world, and I swear to God, if you don't go into my description box right now, click the link to his channel and subscribe, I'm going to hunt you down and gut you like a fish. And that was a How the Grinch Stole Christmas reference, because I'm in a mood, I swear. We're referential today. But seriously, Nate does deserve the best, as do all of you watching, which is why we're doing a giveaway and also just sending him love and support. But with that being said, let's get into this, because I just wanted to start this video out on the right foot, because today I'm going to be updating you all on a pretty heavy topic and going over how a confirmed creep, that being Mando Pony, Andrew Stein, is trying to stage a career comeback, which is such an uncomfortable, weird, and frankly inappropriate thing to do. Straight up, I cannot imagine the kind of deluded you would have to be to think that this is a good idea. It's like going back to work after you've been fired for shitting on everyone's desk, and also Snapchatting minor fans pictures of you naked, complaining about how your wife doesn't put out as much as you would like her to, and basically using your minor fan base that you got from making fan works of children franchises as sexual pawns, which, if you recall, is exactly what Mando Pony did. And yet, here he is, trying to put out music in the year of our Lord 2020, and I am tired. So with that, let's start from the beginning. For those of you who don't know, who didn't see my first video on this subject, here's a small refresher. Mando Pony, whose real name is Andrew Stein, obviously found great success with making FNAF-related content, specifically music, and it was clear to see that he had found a fan base, but that fan base could only be described as young. His music, which is alright and sometimes catchy, really only appealed to the younger members of the FNAF fandom, but still he found his own fan base and it started to grow. His channel quickly grew over 600,000 subscribers and he was thriving. So why, are you asking, hasn't he posted in the last 10 months? Well, that, my friend, is because he was exposed exposed as being a predator, using members of his own fan base, his young, minor fan base, for sexual reasons, despite him being married for 5 years, and despite, again, I can't emphasize this enough, a good chunk of his fan base being underage. Andrew first got popular online during what I can only refer to as the brony era music boom, which occurred almost 10 years ago. He was a part of the legion of bronies who made fan content for My Little Pony, and he very quickly gained a good bit of notoriety for his creations. So much, in fact, that he even made a rap song called Horse Famous, which was about how horse famous he was, and how everyone was essentially jealous of him because he was so horse famous. Jesus fuck. And while I realize that this man later went on to groom his young fans and send them sexual messages, I cannot help but laugh at the fact that this man, this grown adult man, this man literally put up a song where he says, and I quote, he is going to show the phony brony ponies who the wizard really is. And I just have to ask, is it you, Andrew? Andrew, are you the wizard? Are you going to be showing the phony brony ponies that you're the wizard? Is that what you're going to do? Because I'd love to see it. By the way, before I go any further, I will say I'm not a brony, but I am friends with bronies, so please don't take this as me making fun of bronies just because I'm making fun of Andrew, Mando Pony, I like to sex children on Snapchat. Don't take me making fun of this man as saying that you yourself are bad for liking that intellectual property. It's completely unrelated. You are fine liking what you like. But also, he is going to show you phony brony ponies. He's the real wizard, so I'd be careful. I'd tread lightly. I fully realize that if I were to sit down and go over that little bit, that whole segment that I just said, with someone who isn't aware of internet culture, they would have no idea what I was talking about. Like, all of those words, phony brony pony, like, that makes no sense to most people, and they would think I have lost my marbles. But that's a real thing that happened that I am talking about right now. Despite how horse famous Andrew was, he ran into an issue that a lot of channels like his have. That being that a lot of his subscribers were people who liked his songs about Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo. They didn't actually give a hoot about him outside of that. His videos had widely inconsistent views, with hundreds of thousands of people tuning in to see him sing a song about his favorite pony, but videos of him by himself doing things he was interested in, they didn't have a viewership. They'd flop hardcore. So much so that his first album, A Very Mando Christmas, collectively has less views than most of his pony-related music. It was clear that Mando, the musician, the person behind this channel, was not what people liked. They liked the properties he was singing about. And even though My Little Pony was slowly going out of pop culture and being as prevalent, a new property showed promise. And like the hungry, uncreative leech that he is, Andrew clung to this new property with all his might, sucking out all the blood he could. And that property, of course, was Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's, aka FNAF, was to Mando Pony what Five Nights at Freddy was to Markiplier. It launched Andrew into a new level of internet celebrity that he wasn't used to. And though he still had the same problem with people caring much more about his music content than any content featuring him alone doing things other than music, he was still able to use the franchise to his advantage. He wrote entire albums, grew his YouTube audience almost to nearly 1 million subscribers, and even tried to release his own standalone album, which was ironically named Smoke and Mirrors. I say ironically named because later on, he would send this sex to a minor fan via Snapchat, where he is sending them a picture of him after a shower, with his ass displayed in the mirror. So I guess that's what he was thinking when he said Smoke and Mirrors, is this photo. This was the real cover art, I guess. Now, something you might have noticed throughout this entire videos is that the property and franchises that Andrew has attached himself to in the past are predominantly franchises that have a large child audience. And while that is not uncommon for adults to like these franchises, because I am an adult who also loves FNAF, it does seem to point to something sinister when you find out that Andy used his status in these circles to groom minors. Multiple former fans have come forward showing examples of their messages that they received from Andy, which seemingly could not be faked, seeing as the majority of them had photos of him that had not been shared online previously. And in response to his own actions being called into question, Andrew privated his Twitter, closed all the comments on every single one of his videos, and hid out from the internet to never post again. Just kidding. Because if you are like me and check in on his Spotify accounts and on his accounts regularly to see if he's made a comment because you want to see what he says when he comes back, you would have seen that on the 11th of February, this past Thursday, Andrew, the man who straight up and messaged a minor saying that it's wrong for him to be attracted to her, but it would be alright if she would just, quote, keep it secret so he wouldn't get in trouble, put out a new song. He put a new song out February 11th, 2021, and it's called Stray Nights. The song itself is his first post back after being accused of this, after being shown to be a predator, and it itself is 4 minutes of ambient meandering nothing that lacks meaning and structure. It's essentially stock music that I'm sure Andrew himself thinks would work in scoring some disaster of a project he wants to work on, but the fact that he's trying to stage some sort of a comeback and use what is left of his audience that he has already shown he has no problem abusing for profit, that really irks me. It also stood out to me because I noticed the song is noted to belong to someone who goes by the name Edge of Dark, or it's copyrighted to someone named Edge of Dark, which smacks of me of him trying to rebrand himself into an entirely new entity. He's doing that really fun, cute, and casual thing of trying to appeal to the fans he still has subscribed to him on Spotify, make money under his already successful moniker, then probably slowly change from Mando Pony to Edge of Dark and pretend to be this entirely new person who doesn't do things like talk to underage fans about how his wife doesn't make him feel special enough for him to, not sex with children, because apparently it's his wife's fault that he's a creep. Good to know. I think the thing I hate most about the internet is the fact that there's an audience for almost everyone, and there are always going to be some people who legitimately want to give predators like him another chance. It's entirely weird and uncomfortable, and it just reminds me of Romeo Lacoste, the tattoo artist who was exposed for being a predatory creep to his minor fans, because he also returned online with a song and is trying to make a comeback the same way Mando Pony is. And it's just a no from me on all grounds, which is why I'm so entirely thankful that I have the platform that I do, that you guys allow me to have. Because while these guys are hoping enough time has passed that you won't remember how they are horrid cretins and all the things they did to their own fans, I remember, and I have no problem screaming into the void about it. With that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you heard Mando's new song? If you haven't, don't. It's not worth it. Were you a fan of his back in the Mando Pony Brony days? Did you ever listen to Horse Famous? Let me know all of that and more in the comments down below. And with that, I'm out of here. Later days.